This is the Dallas Morning News.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.
Hello, and welcome to Eat, Drink, DFW, the podcast from the Dallas Morning News food team. Each week, we take a look at food and drink trends in North Texas, talk about restaurants in Dallas-Fort Worth, learn some new recipes, and sometimes even get tips from you, our listeners. I'm Anna Butler, the food editor at the Dallas Morning News. It was another week of heartbreaking big-name closures. We'll catch you up on those and share some exciting news for anyone who has ever thought, I wish IHOP and Applebee's would have a baby. And later, we're digging into the very best appetizers you can find at Trader Joe's. That's all coming up right after this.
Central Market is really into food, like fish flown in so fresh it still has jet lag into food. Our sourdough starter has been around since grunge was a thing into food. We're talking more prime cuts than a greatest hits album into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then we're the HQ for you. Whether you're a make every recipe in the cookbook foodie or a my favorite recipe is reheat type who just digs the delectable, no place makes every day more delicious like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
For the latest food and restaurant news in Dallas-Fort Worth, visit dallasnews.com/food. Also, we would love to hear from you, so email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. Today, I'm joined by Sarah Blaskovich, Claire Baller, and Imelda Garcia. Let's start with the closure of Deep Sushi. Claire, what do we know?
Not that much, actually. We know that Deep Sushi is closed, and we know that it's been closed for, it seems, a few weeks now. And we also know that this closure seems to be permanent, but the owners of this restaurant, which has been in Deep Ellum for 30 years now, have not really come out to say why it is closed. What we do know is that they posted on Instagram that the restaurant was going to be closed at the beginning of the year for critical repairs, and that it was expected to open January 5th, but that didn't happen. And it's a sad one. Like I said, this place has been there for a long time. You know, we've been talking a lot about closures and how we expect to see them this time of year, but it always sucks when a place closes, especially one that's been there for so long.
And another one that our readers have felt a lot about. Herrera's Cafe closed on Harry Hines in Dallas at the tail end of 2025. If this name rings a bell, it's probably because the family behind this restaurant near Love Field Airport has more than 50 years of history in Dallas food. So Herrera's was in the same place for a long time, but moved and closed several times since then. And different members of the family operate different Herrera's. So the Herrera's that has closed is on Harry Hines, but there are two others that are still open, and it seems unaffected by this closure. So there's a Herrera's Oak Cliff on West Illinois Avenue, and there's Cafe Herrera on Lamar Street in downtown Dallas. But still, the closure seemed to have come as a shock to the regulars who seem to love it. And I talked to some of them.
And I don't know if this really counts as a closure, maybe a pivot, but Rye is closing, which is fascinating, I think, to all of us because it got a Michelin recommendation, but it's pivoting to really double down on its cocktail program with Apothecary.
That's right, Anna. Rye on Greenville Avenue is going to close in March. And this was and is one of Dallas's most creative restaurants. Its chefs, Tanner Agar and Taylor Rouse, were really inventive. We've interviewed Tanner on this podcast before. They have great insight into the restaurant industry, and to me seem to be making food that few other people are. Now, Rye is closing so that Apothecary next door, their bar, can expand into the larger Rye space. I talked to Tanner about that because this is a pretty big move, and it made me ask him, was your restaurant too creative for Dallas diners? Or is there not a business model for this Michelin-reaching menu? And just to put that in perspective, they had tasting menus very regularly that required a total overhaul in the kitchen of, 8 to 10 courses. And they were really creative. One from last summer had 11 courses of playful twists on kid food. An example, they had a foie gras gelato dish with caviar that they called Ice Cream Truck. They had cocktails with Capri Sun in them. They're really kind of pushing what we understand to be good food in Dallas. And Tanner answered my question about creativity by making a great point. He said, what about the Original Meridian or Homewood or Petra and the Beast? 3 really cool restaurants with 3 beloved Dallas chefs. And, he paused and I filled the space, which is to say none of those 3 restaurants are open anymore. But, and I quote, and it in no way diminishes the wonderful things that have happened at Rye, Tanner said. So if you loved Rye, it's time to go before March. And if you love cocktails, go there after March and you will still find some really inventive drinks. and quite good bites, just in a little bit different format.
All right, Imelda, can you help us lighten the mood? You wrote about the very first North Texas location of Beans and Brews.
Yes, Beans and Brews is a Utah-based company, and they opened its first coffee shop in Mansfield. But the interesting thing about this is that they offer the classics, coffee, lattes, cappuccinos, etc. But they are offering protein cafes.
Aha!
So if you want something more nutritious, you can go there and build muscle.
Just what we needed, more protein beverages.
I don't know. I don't hate it.
Is it convenient for you to get coffee in Mansfield on the way to work, Sarah?
Anna, no. It is not. But in a world where there are so many things that are easy to hate, I don't hate the protein drink thing because we're all just looking for ways to get more protein. Is this the way? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. And if your beverage also wakes you up.
I mean, I like it. I'm with you. Okay, we moved from Mansfield to Arlington, you guys. Here's some fun news. The owner of Hurtado Barbecue, which originated in Arlington, for those who remember, he is going to open a Tex-Mex restaurant in Arlington. And more specifically, this restaurant will be across the street from Rangers Ballpark and down the street from the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. It's going to be called Loma, and it's a Tex-Mex restaurant that's going to specialize in fajitas, a dish that, my gosh, we are just seeing everywhere.
Yeah.
At Loma, Brandon Hurtado said that he's not going to serve his barbecue that you'll find at Hurtado Barbecue in Arlington, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Mansfield. He said other than bringing over beef tallow, Loma is going to be its own thing that is not related to Hurtado Barbecue. And he seems excited to open his first sit-down restaurant. So I share that with anybody who either lives in Arlington, drives through Arlington, or if you're like me, you're a sports fan who finds yourself over there to watch baseball or football. Or World Cup.
Yes, just in time for that.
Yes. So he says he wants to be open by Rangers opening day, which is in early April. But that puts him in line to already be open, as we all know, for summertime World Cup.
I feel like it was always a requisite Tex-Mex item to have fajitas on your menu. But what's interesting to me is that this is probably, the fourth or fifth restaurant we've heard that is like, we are a fajitas restaurant now.
Yes. I remember talking to some old school Tex-Mex restaurateurs who remember when fajitas landed on their menu. Like this was a newfangled thing decades ago. And of course, now it is not, at least not in Dallas. Until I talked to these longtime restaurateurs, I guess I didn't know we lived in a world where there weren't fajitas at Tex-Mex restaurants. And there was a time for that. And in the 70s and 80s, we finally this became something that people ordered regularly.
Fajitas to me remind me so much of Mediterranean food being in vogue, where it's like this is going to be very meat and protein forward, probably with some vegetables, and maybe you eat the bread or in this case the tortilla with it if you're okay with the carbs. It feels like this way to eat clean but have flavorful food. That's a parallel I see, but I really might be pushing it.
No, I see that.
I think it will be interesting to see how this plays out and also what pricing looks like, because I just talked with a restaurant owner last week who told me that we know that things are across the board really expensive right now, but he said that it was fajita meat in particular was something that he had to pivot around because it got so expensive per pound. And so the fact that we're seeing restaurants kind of go all in on fajitas is interesting. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to separate that from Texas food culture, right? So do people continue to go all in on fajitas in this coming year? And if so, will we see prices go up on that?
And as a consumer, do you sit down at a fajitas restaurant and choose the chicken fajitas, which if done well can be super delicious, and know that you're going to save yourself $15 for a single dish, maybe.
And in news that nobody asked for, Imelda?
Guys, I don't know about you, but I always have these weird cravings. For example, pancakes with wings, or waffles with ribs, and you have to sacrifice one of those cravings because there was no place where you can eat both of them. But now guess what? We have one place in DFW. IHOP and Applebee's just opened a merch restaurant. They had a child, like Anna said.
Oh, man.
So now you don't have to choose. You can have your pancakes and your wings. This is open in Love Field Airport in the public area. So before you get into the checkpoints, you can go and have a very interesting dinner with your family.
I don't know about you guys, but the restaurants outside of security I don't think I've ever dined in one of those. When you are coming or going, what you're not doing is lingering outside of the area that you know you need to be in or out of.
But what I'm excited about is for Imelda to use the 30 minutes of free parking that she could get at Dallas Love Field as if she was picking up a passenger to go in and pick up a joint order of pancakes and wings.
Yeah. That's
She's like, guys, it's me. Today I didn't have to choose.
yeah. And I think you have some interesting name for this.
I just can't decide what it should be called because I don't think that they should be going by Applebee's and IHOP. It should be Applehop or IHOPPlebee's.
IHOPPlebee's is clearly better.
Yeah.
It's definitely more fun to say.
Oh, and the people who are sitting there, you guys, they've like left security because they've given up because their plane isn't coming that day.
I will say I was at the airport earlier this week and there were people there. I checked a bag for the first time in years and was going to baggage claim. And then I was like, the IHOPPlebee's.
Yes.
The
You
one
saw
that
it.
Imelda wrote about. It's here.
So, Anna, what's the vibe?
You know, I think
It's a long pause.
pure disappointment, not in the food, but that maybe their flight is delayed or the person that was supposed to pick them up from the airport didn't.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm just picturing someone is like shoved in a booth wearing a piece of clothing like a blanket because they're feeling sad and cold.
Well, at least you can have a cocktail or something now.
And Julie tells us that they have good priced cocktails. That's a huge bonus.
This is actually probably the number one thing in the deal for IHOP to me, because as someone who once went to an IHOP before a John Mayer concert and learned that I couldn't order a glass of wine with my pancakes, the number one thing I was like is how does IHOP not have alcohol at it?
I just love that you went to an IHOP fully expecting to order a glass of wine.
In Greensboro, North Carolina.
I love that you wanted to drink wine before a John Mayer concert.
Who wouldn't? Just the Battle Studies album, so good.
Oh, that's good.
Well, Claire, this is very different news. We're just going to pivot though. What's going on with Good Local Markets?
You guys might remember that Good Local Markets last fall was kind of in a tough spot. So this is a farmer's market, a nonprofit farmer's market here in Dallas. And for a long time, they've run a Saturday and Sunday markets in the spring and in the fall. Their Sunday market was looking like it was going to be no more after they lost some significant funding. Even their Saturday market was sort of in jeopardy. So some good news on this front. Good Local Markets is going to be sticking around, both their Saturday and Sunday markets. And they've actually done something really interesting. They've partnered with the city of Dallas for their Sunday market, which will now be for the spring term at Fair Park.
Empty Fair Park.
Empty Fair Park.
Oh.
Except that you can also do Fair Park things at it. So like state fair things. They said swan boat rides.
Yes, so this will be on that side of the fairgrounds where there are things that are open year round. I think sometimes people just forget that. So if you go visit the farmer's market on Sunday, you'll get to kind of experience the fairgrounds, not during crazy season. And you'll see, hopefully, all the vendors that people came to know and love during their Sunday market previously.
You know, the last time I was on that side of Fair Park with my kids, other than the state fair, was a school field trip to the aquarium. And at that aquarium, right in the front part, they have this tank of fish that eat dead skin. This is a food podcast, isn't it? And people who go to the aquarium can put their hand in it, and they're tiny little fish. They swim up and like stick themselves to your hand, and they don't hurt. And I walked up in an entire third grade class, like 25 of them that I was supposed to, some of them be in charge of, had their hands with fish stuck to them. Wow. And I was like, oh no. And they were all like, it's awesome.
It's exfoliating.
Yeah. Anyway, if you have kids and you're out there at the market and the aquarium is open, my 9-year-old would really recommend that part of the aquarium.
You can read about all of these things by visiting dallasnews.com/food. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're getting into our very favorite apps from Trader Joe's.
Central Market is really into food. Like when we say cheese, it's in 12 languages into food. Butchers, bakers, and sushi roll makers into food. We're talking so obsessive about quality you can shop blindfolded into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then let us turn your shopping list into a treasure map. Get inspired, get adventurous, or just get a chef-made dinner when you've got more taste buds than time. No place makes every meal more amazing like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
Welcome back. In just a minute, we're getting into our favorite Trader Joe's apps. But first, a quick reminder to follow our podcast so you never miss an episode. The show is available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so you have options. We also have options today for you for Trader Joe's apps. But first, we're going to try a new one to set the backdrop. So, Sarah, what did you bring in?
So have you guys heard of the appetizer economy?
Yes, but this is my job.
I don't know that I've heard this term.
I had not either, but I like it, right? I mean, it sounds like an economy I want to be part of. The idea is specifically related to restaurants, and statistics are showing that appetizer sales are up 20% year over year, according to MoneyWise.com. If you look at mozzarella stick sales specifically, they're up 30% year over year.
I'm curious if this is like a recession indicator.
Or if it's because of Chili's.
Or if it's because of cheese pulls.
Or if it's because people are like, how can I eat cheaply? I'll get the tiny little dishes at the beginning of the menu instead of an entree.
I like Sarah and my answers more than yours, but I do think yours might be the more salient one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair point, Claire. Like, why are people buying more appetizers? Is it because they taste better, or is it because they're a better price and you can eat a couple of them and end up at a lower ticket price at the end of a dinner?
I'll tell you that all I want to eat typically at most restaurants are their appetizers.
Yeah.
I'm very rarely intrigued by their entrees. And I think it's just because of maybe the sides or how it comes together. I also like bite size.
And maybe because they are like varied, so you can try different things.
Yeah, you can also try your neighbors if it's
Whoa.
appetizer. I mean, that's my favorite part is like if you order some other appetizer that I kind of wanted, I think that you might give me one.
It kind of feels like Americans are just discovering tapas.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I was
Okay.
thinking about poo-poo platters, actually, which have gone away. Do y'all remember
Yeah.
the poo-poo
Oh, yeah.
platter?
All right. So we've established that appetizers are awesome. We are not at a restaurant today. So let's say that we're at home and we want to have some snickety snackities. Many of us go to Trader Joe's to pick the delicious things. I was there recently and went to the wall of new stuff. Do you guys go to that part of the grocery store?
Always.
Yeah. Okay. And you're a super fan. I know that, Claire.
am.
I went to the wall of new stuff and found salsa taquera. I love a salsa, willing to try any kind, but the sign below it said, "This is Trader Joe's employees' favorite salsa for real." Something like that. And I was like, well, obviously I'm going to buy that. And the best thing about everything at Trader Joe's is like, it's a couple bucks. So like worst case, I buy a salsa that's not the best salsa I've ever had, but is still pretty good. I'm willing to try it. So I said out loud something about this salsa, and Claire, you were like, yeah, I've already bought it. Right?
Twice. Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so do we want to try it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes, of course.
I'm hungry.
We've got a big bag of chips.
My toxic trait right now is I put everything to the tune of Pink Pony Club in my head. So I was like, big bag of chips. Everything.
Like a new tick.
Yeah, it is a new tick.
Ooh, this is like a molcajeteada salsa. You know what a molcajete is?
Yes, a mortar and
Yes.
pestle.
Ah, that's correct. Made of volcanic stone. So when you crush your peppers and tomatoes and everything, you get that consistency. You know, it's amazing.
Do you like the look of it, Imelda?
Yes.
So the salsa, the color is, it's not a salsa verde. It's not a typical red tomato-based salsa. It is made with tomatillos and diced tomatoes. And it's a very fine salsa. This is not a chunky salsa. So if you're pro chunks, this might not be the one for you.
I know I was tasting habanero. It's actually still a mild salsa. I would not call this a spicy salsa by any means, but they have one of the best ingredients for salsas. If you're wondering why your very fresh salsa doesn't taste right or like a restaurant at home, it's because you didn't put white distilled vinegar in it, and this has this in it. So it has a very good, authentic restaurant taste to me, at least a Texas restaurant. Imelda, what about you?
I love it. I need more chile, of course.
Yes.
But it's good. I mean, it's very acid because of the tomatillos. And I love the consistency. It's really good. What about you, Sarah?
I think it's okay. It's not my favorite salsa, and I, like Imelda, want more spice.
I think the closest equivalent in our Tex-Mex lexicon would be a ranchero salsa for this. That's probably what this is. Claire, what have you done with it since you've purchased it?
I love to fry eggs in salsa, which is a technique sometimes you see for like huevos rancheros. And so I have used this salsa for that, which is perfect for it because it's not a chunky salsa. And so I will pour some into a skillet with a little bit of oil and crack eggs right into it and fry eggs in the simmering salsa,
Mexican shakshuka.
essentially, and kind of baste the eggs in that. It is really, really good.
That sounds really good. It sounds fairly simple and delicious. I don't want this salsa by itself. Honestly, I want it to be doing something. And that, Claire, sounds like a great job for it.
Speaking of, I just was at a friend's house this past weekend. She had chips and salsa out, and the salsa was great. And I asked her where she got it from, and she said it was a store-bought salsa that she added fresh onion and tomatoes to, that she just cut up and kind of mixed in. And I had never really thought to do that before, to kind of dress up a store-bought salsa. And I feel like this one could be a good base for that kind of approach.
To judge.
Exactly.
Something is interesting about Trader Joe's. Have you seen the hype of the bags? I mean, they cost like $3 or $5, and now they are on eBay like in $21,000, $35,000.
Wait, what? Why?
They are considered the quintessential American thing now. So they are sold worldwide. It's crazy.
And this is like a rectangular tote bag with a handle.
Yes.
The canvas ones.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I don't understand the tote bag economy. It's the worst kind of bag. If you give me one for free, I will throw it away faster than I'll give it away. I hate a tote bag.
Well, why doesn't it have a zipper? Why does everything just need to fly all over the car?
I am a tote person, and I have a tote of totes, is what I call it. And it's my big tote bag that holds all of my other tote bags
Do you use them all, or do they stay in that tote?
all the time. And I use different ones for different things.
Tell me more, because they're all the same.
And I do have some of the mini Trader Joe's totes.
Oh, I know
which
those.
I bought not knowing that that was a culty thing. And they're great for kid uses. We use them all the time. We use the mini totes those are our restaurant bags. So that's what we could load up with our little restaurant activities when we're going to need to sit somewhere and be still for a bit. But it makes me sad that the tote is now like kind of a symbol of the absolute pits of capitalism, you know?
Yeah. And your tote of totes, is it from TJ's also?
It's not. Actually, no. My TJ's totes go inside my tote of totes.
Oh, so it contains a treasure in there.
Exactly.
You have a lot of money.
I guess
now.
that's pretty loaded. I'm not going to really tell anyone where that is in case they try to rob me.
I think with you being such a fan of Trader Joe's, you just being like, I didn't know it was like a cult thing to have the mini ones. I'm like, I think that's just a sign that you're in the cult.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. To me, a tote needs pockets and it needs a zipper. This reminds me of the Stanley Cup. Here's what it is. The Stanley Cup has a couple jobs, and one big job of a cup with a lid and a straw is that it doesn't spill. You know what my kids do with their Stanley Cups? They spill them. It's the number one thing we do with the Stanley Cup. I think we spill it more than we drink out of it. So a tote, one of its huge jobs is to hold things and then not let those things fall out. And what my kids do with their totes is everything falls out in the car before we get to the restaurant because there's no zipper. And then we get to the restaurant, it's like, you got to put all the stuff back in the tote. And I'm like, I cannot live inside this craziness.
Julie has something to say.
I cannot abide by this tote hate any longer, especially the Trader Joe's totes, and the canvas ones are amazing. I don't know if they've got a zipper, but they stay closed. And Sarah, I'll have you know, I got Trader Joe's totes for my girls for Christmas this year and loaded them up with Trader Joe's goodies. I was like Queen of Christmas. They were so stinking excited. And I just have to say, like a Stanley Cup, you only appreciate the joy that the tote brings you when you have one. So maybe we just need to give you a tote.
I'll give it away faster than I can throw it away.
So some of the inspiration for us talking about Trader Joe's today is I was invited to a party where the requisite item that you're supposed to bring is a Trader Joe's appetizer.
Wow.
And I like Trader Joe's because I also think it's like independent ingredients are affordable and I can get just one of them, like Central Market, and I will go and then cook with them. But some of their pre-composed stuff, I'm like, I haven't always loved it, but my family does. And just anecdotally, my niece is always like, if I bring something over to their house or even like peonies, because they always have peonies, she's like, are these from Trader Joe's? Trader Joe's? That being said, I need inspiration from y'all who are Trader Joe's aficionados on what app I should bring to this party where I'm supposed to bring a Trader Joe's app when I just like have no idea.
Ana, please take some empanadas de ropa vieja. Ropa vieja means old clothing. This is a dish from Cuba. It's shredded beef, with tomatoes and onions and all that kind of stuff. They put it in a mini empanada. So they are great for sharing and they are delicious.
Where does the old clothing part of it come in?
Like when old clothing, it's real old, it shreds, So it's like the shredded beef. That's why.
Clever.
I thought it was like, we're getting it dressed up in this cute little skin.
That's a good idea.
Anna, I've tried most of the appetizers at Trader Joe's, and the fun of it sometimes is just going and grabbing something you've never had and 9 times out of 10 being delighted that it's good. A recent one we bought were the fried olive bites. As we know, I am a dirty martini drinker. And so these frozen fried olive bites you just stick in the oven or air fryer, and they have cheese on the inside, and then they're olives, and they come with a breading, so you get it nice and crispy. A quick anecdote about these: we bought them and I was gone, and my husband made a couple of them while I was out of the home. And this is the definition of true love. He saved me 2, and he texted me and was like, I need you to come home because I saved you something, but I'm really struggling with it because I want to eat them, but you need them because they're that good and you will love them. Aww. And so he did save them for me. I heated them back up, and a reheat on an air fried olive bite, and they were still really darn good. We have bought them again since.
That speaks volumes, Sarah.
I know.
One of my favorite Trader Joe's appetizers is the veggie-ness. Have you ever had these?
No.
Okay. Nope. They've been around for a while, but I think people forget about them. It's kind of a sleeper hit. It is tempura battered vegetables, essentially. This is onion, carrot, I think some spinach, and they are essentially julienned and clustered into what look like little bird nests and in this batter and fried. And they come with like a dipping soy sauce. I do them in the oven. You could do them in an air fryer. They're so great. I have been known to eat this and just this for dinner before.
Love that.
And I think they're delightful.
I just looked these up, Claire.
Yeah.
Fun fact, these vegetable birds' nests have been around since 2003. It's a long time.
That's even longer than I realized. But Anna, I will say, I think for a party, what I would bring is one of my Trader Joe's great loves, which is the tête de moine cheese. And so this is a cheese. I think they only have it seasonally, though. That's the problem with Trader Joe's, is that you find something you love and then it disappears. But, nothing like some longing to make something really taste good. Tête de moine cheese, it is a semi-soft cow's milk cheese. So basically you take this round of cheese and you stick it on this little spike, and you have a little crank that you spin around it, and it shaves off a layer of the cheese into this beautiful little flour, essentially. And I think the name comes from the fact that when you cut the top of the cheese off, it looks like the bald spot of the head of a monk, which is why it's called tête de moine.
Delicious.
Yeah, and Trader Joe's sells it already cut. So you have these beautiful little florets of this cheese, and the cheese itself is so delightful in taste, but it's also really beautiful. And one thing that I love to do with these is to get a cracker that you love, put a little fig jam or pepper jelly or something like that down, and one of those florets on it. And it is such a quick and easy and beautiful appetizer.
You can't go wrong in the cheese section at Trader Joe's, I feel. We bought goat cheese Gouda from Trader Joe's years ago for ourselves, and one of our kids, I can't remember which, stole some off of a plate. And now goat cheese Gouda is my kid's favorite cheese. And I feel like that impressed some other adults once at my house who were like, wow, look at your kids. And I was like, it's just cheese. I mean, kids love cheese, but it seemed fancier. You know what? That's what Trader Joe's is. It just seems fancier than it is. And that's kind of fun.
Yeah. I think Julie has a suggestion.
Before I get into it, I just want to commend all of you for not saying anything when Claire was talking about cutting the cheese. I think you deserve a pat on the back for that. 2, and I bow at the altar of Trader Joe's. I'm like, Claire, I love it. I love the sweet and spicy candied pecans. That's like an easy thing to throw in a bowl. It might be a flu spreader, but they are delicious. The other thing, there are these little, I think they're called caramelized onion bites, and they're in the freezer section. They're little puff pastries that have caramelized onion and feta in them, and we keep those in the freezer all the time. I think we do like wine and cheese nights once a week at my house, and that's just an easy thing to throw in the oven, but they're great. We serve them at every party.
And I want to go to your party.
I would invite you, but it's not mine.
But I do appreciate all of these suggestions because as someone who is enthusiastic about appetizers, they all sound like things I would just eat for dinner and not have a composed meal with. I am known to do this with just shishito peppers, which is very frail, and these all sound heartier than just eating a container of shishitos alone.
I do need like a power ranking after your party, Anna. I think that you should take some mental notes. I feel as though it would not be right to take actual notes during the party. But if you could take mental notes and come back and let us know about the appetizers that we haven't yet tried that were winners at this party, I think we'll be your guinea pigs for next time.
We do want to hear your Trader Joe's apps recommendations, so email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com if we missed any, or if you just really like the ones that we picked. You can also read more about all of our recent food news at dallasnews.com/food. Special thanks to our producer, Julie Fisk. For the news, I'm Anna Butler. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.